In this video, we're going to see how to create frequency distributions of categorical data. And we're going to also talk about relative frequency and percent frequency, and we're going to see how to find them in Excel. So for that, we're going to use data file soft strings. So here I have the data file soft string, and as you can see, this is a categorical data file, meaning that there is no numerical value here in this data. So they're all text. These are actually the names of 5 different types of soft strings. And these are the names of these are the name of the soft drink that each customer has purchased from the convenience store. So the first customer has bought Coke. The second customer has bought who has purchased a soft drink. The brand that he has chosen was Diet Coke. The third customer bought the third customer who bought soft drink picked Pepsi, and so on. Diet Coke, 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 Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke, etc. So we have recorded the brand of the soft drink for 50 customers in a row that came to the convenience store. So now we have 50 values. 52 columns, 25, 2 times 25, 50 observations. Now we want to build the distribution, frequency distribution of the brands of soft drinks sold at a convenience store. So that's the question in front of us. When we're talking about distribution, we are talking about the head count, the frequency, the number of times that a specific item, a specific group, a specific bin appears in a data set. So that's basically what we're trying to say. So we need to classify, we need to group items into different categories or classes. When we have categorical data, when we have names like this one, like this data file, our job is easy. In terms of the classification, we can pick, so basically classes, or I would just put the brand, or soft drink brand. And we just have, like I said, we have 5 different types. We have Coke, Sprite, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper. For Dr. Pepper, I just copy and paste. For Diet Coke, again, I just copy and paste. It's very important to make sure that the spelling is exactly the same. Otherwise, it's the formula that we're going to use, it's not going to give you the correct answer. So now we have the brands here. So I just make sure that they're all aligned left. And next thing that we're going to do, we're going to count by frequency. Frequency of items. So we want to know how many times customer have selected Coke. Among these 50 customers, how many of them have picked Coke? So what I'm going to do here, there are, again, this is something that you can do it in multiple different ways in Excel, but this is probably the most basic way that we can do it. I'm just going to count the number of Coke within this data set. For that, I need to use count. As you can see here, counts the number of cells in a range that contains number. This is not what we're looking for. We want to count if, and let's just read the definition here, counts the number of cells within a range that meet the given condition. What's our condition? It's Coke. So count if the range is here. I just pick the whole table, column A and B. And what's the criteria? The criteria is Coke. All right, and enter. So let me just quickly show you the formula that I have here in red color. So I have count if, column A and B, the value Coke. And if I just drag it down, like D3 is going to get updated, D4, etc., A and B are not going to change. So that's going to be perfect. So it's going to give us the count of each one. And if I just take the total sum of these frequencies, it should give me 50. 50 is the total number of customers who have made a purchase, a soft drink purchase, let's say within the past week, for example. So sum of these values should be 50. All right. Now, so that's how we find the frequency, by count if. Again, this is one way. We're going to see when we're dealing with pivot table in chapter 3, we'll see how this can be done within maybe using 1 or 2 clicks, basically, when you're doing pivot table. Again, there might be multiple ways that you can do it. So this is frequency. There's another concept that we want to talk about here, and it's relative frequency. A very important concept here, relative frequency. So what we have right now is the absolute frequency, is the actual count of each item within the whole data file. Now, relative frequency shows you how much of the whole number of observations is is formed by each group, by each bin, by each class, by each brand in this case. So relative frequency, what is the proportion of the total count that is coming from this group? So 19 divided by 50. So that'll give me the relative frequency, right? 19 out of 50 people who bought, 19 of them picked Coke. So, and then I'm just gonna drag this formula down. I'm just gonna copy and paste. Because of that, I know that the denominator should be fixed. So I just fix this by adding $, by pressing by pressing F4 or Command T if you're working on a Mac. So E3 divided by E9, E9 locked, enter, and then drag it down. Each one divided by 50, you know the sum of all of them are 50. And now if I take the sum of all these relative frequencies, it should give me what? It should give me 1. Sum of the relative frequencies should be equal to 1. So that's, again, another thing that we need to know. Relative frequency. Sum of relative frequency is the proportion of items that are coming from a group, from a class, from a brand in this case. Relative frequency, a very similar concept. It's exactly the same thing. It's percent frequency distribution. Percent frequency. It's exactly the same thing, except that we just display it in a percentage format. So I'm just gonna use exactly the same formula here. It's exactly the same thing, except that it's gonna be just displayed in a percentage format. So same values, same thing. I just take these and change the format, going to the Home tab, percentage format, And if need be, you may add one or multiple number of decimals. So we don't need any decimals. They're all round numbers. So I just go with that. 38%, 10%, 26%, 10%, 16%. So that'll give me the percent frequency of different groups within a categorical data file.